On Sky News Business, this is Business Class.
Hi, I'm James Wilkinson and welcome to Business Class. Today's show is coming to you from beautiful Hamilton Island. Before we showcase some great things this island has to offer, here's this week's travel news. In travel news this week, Qantas has launched new direct flights from Melbourne to San Francisco with Boeing 787 aircraft. The new services are the first ever direct flights between Melbourne and San Francisco and will operate 4 times every week. Qantas International CEO Alison Webster said the direct flights were a win for the 60,000 travellers who currently need to make a stop when travelling between Melbourne and San Francisco. Qantas's Dreamliner carries 236 passengers across 3 cabins, including business, premium and economy. In other Qantas news, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner is now operating flights from Brisbane to Los Angeles and on to New York City. The flights to New York's Kennedy Airport are popular with Aussies and connect with flights arriving from Melbourne and Sydney in Los Angeles. The Brisbane to Los Angeles Boeing 787 services are the first Dreamliner flights to be operated by Qantas from the Queensland capital, as the state-of-the-art aircraft gradually replaces the 747 on key routes. Dreamliner services from Brisbane to Hong Kong will start in December, with other destinations to follow. Qantas Group CEO Alan Joyce said the new Dreamliner base was great news for Qantas and Queensland, supporting jobs and driving international tourism to the state. The launch of the 787s from Brisbane coincides with the announcement that from October, Qantas will offer Queensland-made wine to passengers travelling in its domestic and international business class cabins. 3 wines from the Granite Belt-based Symphony Hill Wines were selected following the annual 3-day blind tasting by Qantas Rockpool sommeliers. Additionally, Qantas last week announced its Brisbane International Lounge will be expanded to cater for an extra 100 guests, and it's expected to be completed in early 2019 to support the growing demand for premium travel with the arrival of the Dreamliner. In hotel news, Marriott's luxury brand St Regis is heading to Australia, with a new hotel set to debut in Melbourne in 2022. Located in the luxury mixed-use precinct Flinders Bank on the corner of Spencer and Flinders Streets, the new St Regis Melbourne will serve as a gateway to the city's bustling CBD. The St Regis Melbourne will include 168 luxuriously appointed guest rooms and suites, all of which offer sweeping views of the Yarra River or the city skyline. Food and beverage offerings will include a specialty restaurant in addition to a sophisticated drawing room space and a St Regis bar, which will serve up the local rendition of the brand's signature cocktail, the Bloody Mary. Guests will also be able to immerse themselves in top leisure facilities, including a fitness and wellness centre with a 25-metre indoor swimming pool and a spa and beauty salon. Guests of the St Regis Melbourne will also experience the renowned hallmarks of the St Regis brand, including the legendary St Regis butler service. Over in China, the world's coolest new hotel brand Artyzen is opening 2 new properties in Nanjing and Shanghai this month. We found out about the properties in an exclusive interview in Shanghai yesterday with the head of the Artyzen brand, Alan Yip. Alan, we're here at the soon-to-open Artyzen Habitat in Shanghai, and what's this exciting new brand all about?
Well, first of all, welcome James to this new hotel, new concept we're developing. When Alan Yip and I started looking at developing some new brands 5 years ago when the company was started, our approach to the hotel, to developing this new brand, was not so much as to what hotels should be. We really started looking at the user and behavioral attitudes of our customers. You look at what the customer profile is today, 60% of the travelers are actually in the millennial generations. And don't forget, millennial generations today are reaching the age of about mid-30s. They are all successful people in both the corporate world and in the business world. And the millennial generations live in a world, they grew up in a world where they appreciate life, right? They appreciate socializing, mixing with people. They are the social media generation. So taking all those into perspective, we kind of created brands around this group of customers in the different segments of the market. Today, we know a lot of business are closed and discussed over coffee. We call this a cafe economy. Right? So we created a brand that has not just a hotel lobby, but Artyzen Habitat, we created a brand with a town square. It's a flexible use social space. It's a space that is cafe. It's a space where our guests, our target audience, our local community gathers together. They socialize, they interact, they communicate. They do business. They have their meals. And the space is a lot more dynamic use. We don't believe in segmenting a lobby or a lounge. The space, as you can see here, can be used as dining area, breakfast area, cafe, and it could even be used as movie screening, fashion shows, pop-up galleries, and the whole concept around it, again, goes back down to who our target audience is. This is the millennial generations, and this is how they live life, how they behave, and how they grow up. And Artyzen Habitat is exactly that type of brand. You can also see art is a very important part of the brand. Rather than do the traditional art, we actually engage the young artists in each of the cities that we operate. We get them to create fun, eclectic, quirky art and add that into our overall hotel design. So it is important that when the target audience, our millennials, walk in the hotel, it's not just a hotel, but a hotel that has character, that's individual, and it brings a smile to the face. They walk in the room, they see a funny art, they go, oh, nice. So it's always that moment that we want to inject into our experience.
And in your rooms, you've got a desk space for corporates, and you've also got a lounge area if you want to relax as well. So it's a hybrid between business and leisure for travellers.
Exactly. Going back to the core point is we're not designing a hotel based on what hotel should be or what service apartment should be. We are designing an accommodation space around our target audience, the millennials. And this group of people want to walk into a living space, a room that is more home-like. We look at our own home. We have our living room, we have our bedrooms. So we're going to create a space that's a lot more home-like. We don't want our customers, our guests, to walk into a room and in the middle of it is a bed. We want them to walk into a living space. And then there's a bedroom. So whether you're there to do a day stay, a long stay, it's almost irrelevant. It is a space that feels more like home, it's got quirky art that brings a smile to you when you're living in a hotel.
Now, simultaneously, you're also launching another Artyzen hotel in Nanjing, about an hour or so from here, which is very different to this. That's more of very much a retreat or a resort, isn't it?
Exactly. So we've got two main brands. The Artyzen Habitat brand, really is about community, it's about interaction, it's about energy, and an Artyzen brand, which is, as I mentioned, it is like the discovery channels for hotels. It is a brand, again, targeted at the millennials. Today, millennials are a big piece of what we call this trend, the bleisure traveler. They don't just travel to a space to work. They travel to a location and they want to absorb the knowledge. They want to absorb, the culture of the local space. And you see that trend already happening across Asia Pacific, across China and worldwide. You don't just travel to stay, you travel to learn, to get immersed. And that's what we see Artyzen, the brand, being. We go to each of the locations, like in Nanjing, and we kind of bring a lot more depth in the cultural experience. It's not the superficial styling. We go into it. We do a lot of research, actually, before we do any of these brands. Go into the community, go into the culture, into the heritage, dig deep, get the insights, bring it up in a more, contemporary expression that our target, the millennials, are attracted to it. And then they develop this curiosity, and then they start asking questions. We train our service staff not to provide excellent service as a hotel. We train them to also have the knowledge of the story around, so they can share with our guests. And
if you look at the Nanjing property, it's got its own art museum, it's got some villas that have been created by some of the best architects in the world, doesn't it?
Exactly. So if you're a guest that goes into Nanjing, again, you're not just staying in a hotel. You will understand the 20 villas, the story behind each of the architects. We've got Stephen Ho designing the museum. We've got Wang Su designing one of the villas. He's China's first Pritzker Prize winner for architecture. We've got the Ettore Scorsese, who designed the recreation building. And as a guest, when you stay with us at the Nanjing Artyzen, you will have an understanding behind the architects and the inspiration of creating each of these unique villas and designs.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
In our airline review segment this week, we look at Virgin Australia's top cabin, the Business, which is found on the airline's Boeing 777-300ERs that fly from Sydney to Los Angeles. Here's what you can expect. Virgin Australia flies Boeing 777-300ERs to Los Angeles from Brisbane, Melbourne and Sydney. And on board you'll find an exclusive cabin called the Business. It features 37 individual and private suites that convert into the length of a queen-size bed at 80 inches. The Business features a reverse herringbone cabin layout, maximising privacy and enabling 100% direct aisle access in a 1-to-1 configuration. You'll find a generous side console area providing ample space to work, multitask and store personal items, with the addition of a bedside amenity nook for easy access while resting. When it's time to turn in, you'll find a turn-down service with pyjamas, memory foam mattress toppers, and high-grade cotton pillows and doonas. Entertainment is available on 18-inch high-definition touchscreens with noise-cancelling headphones to round out the experience. Should you wish to work or connect with friends on social media, Wi-Fi was recently fitted to the Boeing 777 fleet, and it's one of the best connections in the sky. On the food front, Top Chef Luke Mangan has designed menus that are paired with premium wines. Meals are delivered in a fine dining experience through a la carte or express dining options. One of the many X factors of the Business is the full-service onboard bar, which comes complete with stools and couches. Virgin Australia's service on board is top-notch, and we think it's one of the best ways to get to LA. Our international hotel profile this week is one of our favourites in North America, the Four Seasons New York downtown. Let's go inside. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We're here at the Four Seasons New York downtown, and what really makes this property so special in your opinion?
I mean, a lot of things make it special, but I think the one thing that really makes it different are people. You know, the staff are really unique here. They care for the guests, they care for the hotel, and they want to make sure that every single experience is memorable.
And tell us about some of the features of the hotel.
So we have many things that guests can do when they come here. First of all, I think the destination downtown is wonderful and it's an attraction on its own. But when you come to the hotel, it's really an oasis. It's quiet. You have really, even though it's in the center of New York and in a busy city, you have a beautiful spa on the 3rd floor that has a swimming pool, great treatment rooms for massage, great fitness area. So that's one. Second, we have an amazing restaurant from Wolfgang Puck, a contemporary steakhouse that is really a hot place for New Yorkers, especially for people living in Tribeca, with a great bar, so it starts really early and then you can have really a great evening. And then you have great things like room service. If you want to be just quiet in your room, you could also enjoy that.
And a wonderful residential feel in the rooms. It's a very homely feel, isn't it?
It is. The architect is Yabu and Pushelberg, and they've really done a great job where when you arrive to the room, you feel immediately at home. The rooms are not too masculine, not too feminine. The colors are very soothing. It really works well. Our guests love the rooms.
And very special standalone bathtubs in the rooms as well.
Yes, you could swim in them. How deep they are, and the beauty is that the design is really done perfectly.
You really do feel like you're in a residential apartment in these bathrooms in particular, don't you?
That's right. It doesn't feel like a hotel room at all. Straight away you arrive, you feel at home. Your apartment could look like this room, absolutely perfect. Every detail is looked after, and the bathrooms are very bright, very wide. It's really pleasant.
And amazing technology. When you walk into your room, the blinds open up and the lights come on slowly.
That's right. Everything can be done through a remote control on the walls, but furthermore, the technology allows you also to order your food through room service on an iPad, to be able to put the do not disturb from the bed without having to walk to the door, and do the same for requesting the service.
And you've got such a great pool where you can see the Oculus when you're going for a swim.
Yes, indeed. We have a great view. The pool is on the 3rd floor, so you could enjoy the views, you could relax. The beauty is you can also swim and listen to some music, and the pool is really large.
And an ideal location for business travelers coming to New York, isn't it?
It is. Not only business, really leisures. We have a beautiful mix. We have people from all over the world. There's a true attraction about downtown right now. If you go back, downtown was where New York started, and you have a mix here of people living in New York, in Tribeca specifically, and people coming to also visit. People walk around. You have cafes, restaurants. It's really booming, but it's never overcrowded, which is really the attraction.
And a lot of great shopping down here as well, and it's probably becoming better and better and better, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's really up to date now with the rest of New York. You have first the Oculus that opened with Westfield, with enormous space that is really fun and beautiful at the same time. Then you can cross underneath the path to go to Brookfield, which is on the other side next to the Hudson River. So all that are all space for shopping. It's really well done. You have also restaurants. You definitely don't need to go anywhere else. You have enough around. And then if you're looking for the small boutique shops, 15 minutes you're in Soho from here walking. So it's really, you can find everything in 15 minutes. And
if you want to go on for a great helicopter ride, it's just down the street too. It seems like everything's just here.
Yes, and also a lot of guests actually travel from the airport to the hotel with an helicopter and then do a 5-minute ride on a car.
Coming up after the break, our Hamilton Island special continues.
You're watching Business Class on Sky News Business.
Facts and feelings. To be a really good human being, one needs to remove prejudice. And that is equally true in the investment sphere. To be a great investor, one needs to remove emotions and use logic. And what we actually find is, most of the time, it is the opposite. People lead with their emotions and then think in a rather vague way about facts. So when a stock or a company is going through a bad time, they allow all the doubts and concerns to override the underlying realities. And likewise, when a company is doing extremely well, they don't ask about why, they simply join the crowd and become emotional and forget the facts. It's very simple. Control your emotions, look at the facts, and you'll become a great investor.
Come sail with the Vikings on the rivers and the seas. Come away and make new memories with me. We'll explore the world in comfort, learn its wonders and its ways, on a journey of surprise, full of magic and delight. Hear the call of the Vikings, come sail with the Vikings.
Years of relentless drought is tearing apart the lives and livelihoods of outback families and communities. For many, time is running out fast. Your donation to Aussie Helpers provides real and tangible support. Before it's too late, please visit aussiehelpers.org.au.
If you take a vitamin D supplement regularly, there's a weekly dose that may be more convenient for you. Ostivit D 1 a week. It has all the vitamin D from 7 daily capsules in one easy-to-swallow gel capsule. Ask your pharmacist about Ostivit D 1 a week.
I was a transport driver and I was doing that a lot. My wife Sandra got sick, that was it. So I called Australian Super and we started planning things together. Now we're getting a payment every fortnight and that is very good news.
It's Australian, it's super, and it's yours.
Starting next Tuesday, 8:30.
What exactly is a ball? Balls are a gathering of people who are not welcome to gather anywhere else.
From Ryan Murphy.
What do you want out of life?
I want to be treated like any other woman.
The brand new series.
Twirl. Baby, you are our secret weapon.
Close begins next Tuesday, 8:30 on Showcase or stream on demand. Welcome back to Business Class.
Hamilton Island is one of the top leisure and conferencing destinations in Australia. We caught up with CEO Glenn Burke to find out what's new and happening. Glenn, we're up here on Hamilton Island and the annual race week is on. How is everything going for you?
Oh, it's been a fantastic week for us so far. We've had the perfect weather conditions. As you can see in the background, there's no clouds in the sky and the breezes have been great. The sailing's been really intense and there's been a great sense of camaraderie here after the racing as well.
And it's a big event for you every year, isn't it? A great way to have the island on the map, so to speak.
Look, it's our premier sporting event on the island and we have maximum capacity here. We're probably close to 6,000 people on the island. About 2,500 of those are sailing actively during the week. But it's also a gala expression of food and cuisine and fashion and all things like that. So it's a multi-dimensional event, and everybody gets a piece of something while they're here.
And if you look at the island, what's new up here for you at the moment?
Oh look, there's been a lot of construction. Obviously we had a cyclone a couple of years ago, and we've done a lot of work. We've invested a lot of money in bringing the island back to its best and even better than that. Qualia has had some amazing work done to the gardens, and they're looking spectacular. We've replaced a lot of the marina arms, which is coincidentally great for the sailors as well. And that work has really dressed the island up. A lot of the holiday homes here have been refurbished, and they're sparkling and brand new. So we continue to do a lot of capital works here on the island.
You're missing a few neighbours at the moment. They're all coming back fairly soon next year. Are you looking forward to having some neighbours return for the region itself?
Oh, absolutely. It's really important that the region has profile, and obviously the other islands around here who have been doing refurbishment works as well will come back online. That brings a lot more volume through the airport, which is great for the airlines and ultimately really good for business as well. So they're good friends of ours, and we work in unison. We help them out and they help us out, and it's a very good symbiotic relationship. And yeah, we're looking forward to them coming back online, middle of next year.
And we're here in the middle of winter, and you think it was summer here. It's obviously a great year-round destination, isn't it? It is. I mean, I think people coming from Melbourne and Sydney really enjoy the winter months up here. They get a bit of warmth and sunshine. It gives them a break away from intense business period, and we enjoy having them up here. And people have recognised this over time, so that our occupancy doesn't really fall away in the winter. It's becoming, some of the most popular months of the year to come here. Yeah, and if you look at the sailing itself, obviously it's one of the more fun parts of coming to the island and doing something a bit different, isn't it? Well, it's great for me. I mean, I come from a sailing background. I get to sail on wild oats, which is pretty prestigious and magnificent. And it's great to see that boats from, say, 25 feet to 100 feet are coming here and really enjoying the ambience of the whole thing, racing hard during the day, and then enjoying the entertainment, which we have masses of here, and their friendship of old mates and stories being told and things like that. And if you look at the island, there's been a lot of other proposals in recent years for new projects, new hotels. How's all that coming? Well, we're actually in the process of building a large block of staff accommodation at the moment. It's quite a big investment for us. It's somewhere in the order of $20 million. And what we do then is move staff that are in a hotel that we've decommissioned and used as staff accommodation. We're going to bring that back online. It's going to be 4+ stars. We'll have an extra 60 rooms here on the island. It's a family-friendly kind of hotel that we're bringing on, and we see a lot of volume and pickup in that area. And this project will take us about 3 years to come to fruition, but we're pushing through hard, and we look forward to having extra hotel space on the island. Fantastic for the island. Glenn, good luck with the sailing today, and thank you so much for your time. Absolute pleasure. Qualia, where I'm standing right now, is one of the top resorts in the world. Let's check in now with General Manager Kyle LaMonica. Well, we're here today at one of the, not just the best resorts in Australia, one of the best resorts in the world, aren't we?
We are, most definitely. Qualia is, we're very privileged to be in the Whitsundays here in Australia, and it's fantastic. From an Australian tourism product, this is a very, very special resort, isn't it? There's nothing like this really in Australia. Most definitely. I mean, we have a lot of new brands in Australia right now, but Qualia is always at the top of the market, which is fantastic, which is great for the area and great for tourism in Australia. Now, what are the things that you really love about this resort? Oh, this resort is authentically Australian, most definitely. The area lends itself to be particularly beautiful all year round. The weather's stunning, the service is fantastic. Why wouldn't you want to come? Look at the food and beverage on offer here. It's also very good food though as well. Most definitely. We've got 2 restaurants here. We've got our Long Pavilion, and we've also got our Pebble Beach restaurant, both offering authentic Australian cuisine. Hard to miss, great opportunities. And one amazing for lunch, one amazing for dinner, I guess, isn't it? Most definitely. One's right on the water's edge, Pebble Beach, located great for lunch. We also do our degustation menu down there at nighttime. And upstairs is our breakfast serving as well as our long pavilion dinner, which is fantastic.
A lot of people forget that Hamilton Island is also an amazing conference destination. So you've obviously got both ends of the spectrum, don't you? You've got the conference business and the leisure business.
We certainly do. We've got both on hand here on Hamilton Island. Qualia caters more to the leisure side of things, but Hamilton Island being a very widespread out island, we can cater to masses for the conference side of things as well.
And as we're now seeing during race week, you're putting on an amazing Paspaley lunch, which is it's one of the many events you can actually do on the beach by the pool, which looks spectacular.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, exactly. Qualia specifically is kind of like a blank canvas. We can certainly create some memorable experiences here at Qualia, and Paspaley lunch at the end of the race week is one way to finish off the great week.
One of your favourite events every year here?
Paspaley lunch as well as the Piper lunch, two most of my favourite events every year, and every year they keep getting better and better.
You make a spectacular location look even more spectacular when you have the nice tables outside under the sun.
Yeah, well listen, our location actually lends itself to an outdoor function, especially when we got blue sky and sunny like we are today. Why wouldn't you want to come here? It's a perfect place to relax and enjoy a lovely long lunch.
Yeah, you're very well known for your service here, and as a regional resort, that's not the easiest thing to do.
No, certainly not, but we want it to be understated elegance, and services are a forefront of all that, obviously, so we take pride in making sure that our guests are well serviced without being over the top, but just being attentive and there when we need them.
Pretty tough office you've got, having views like this every single day of the year.
I'm pretty fortunate to call this my home and call this office for sure, yeah.
And what's the one thing that makes Qualia as amazing as this? What's the X factor?
I think our X factor, like you said before, is our service. I mean, the area itself is absolutely beautiful and stunning. We are in God's country, as they say. However, the service is what rounds everything out. The resort's stunningly designed. It's the service that makes everything kind of rounded out and makes sure that all of our guests are well looked after.
It's also amazing when you think about how long the resort's been here for, and it looks like it was built yesterday.
10 years on, that's it. Yeah, we have a very strong preventative maintenance program where we're in every pavilion kind of twice a year, making sure they're looking as fresh as they can. So we take pride in making sure that whether this is the first time you visited or the 10th time you visited, it looks spectacular every time.
Well, that's it from us on Hamilton Island. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Business Class.
As your home connects to the world,